Hello people, my name is Jimmy and today I want to very quickly tell you why Mass Effect Andromeda is not a bad game. Sure, it might not be the best Mass Effect game there is. I mean, does it hold a candle to 1, 2 or 3? Absolutely not. Is it a functional RPG that lets you fly around space quite a bit? Just about. So I feel like a lot of people have been honing in on the game's facial animations and as if this is the catalyst for everything being bad in the game. And while it's true that they're quite distracting, they never really do enough to completely pull me out of the experience. I mean, Addison's face is the stuff of nightmares, and I never want to fucking see it again. But apart from that, it's functional, it works. It's not the greatest, it's not even as good as The Witcher 3, which came out 2 years ago. And it's sure as shit nowhere near something like LA Noire. But it's about on par, I'd say, with Fallout 4. Fallout 4 itself wasn't great animation-wise. But to say Andromeda is terrible because the animations is a bit ridiculous. You can find a lot of great fun in games with technical limitations, or difficulties rather. So The Witcher 3 had so many glitches, so many bugs. I remember trying to get Roach to go up a hill and almost having an aneurysm in anger, and people still revere that game. I revere that game. But that's not what makes Andromeda not quite as good as its predecessors at all. So Andromeda has been getting slated by the gaming media. Well, that's according to somewhere like Mashable, who ran with a headline saying bad game is bad. And the day I go to Mashable for my gaming advice, the day I go to Bill Cosby for my dating advice. Because fuck Mashable. With scores like 6s and 7s, that might not seem like it's a good game, or that it's been reviewed that well. But bear in mind, a lot of these sites are going off the old, classic review score timeline. Timeline? Whatever you call it. Whereas 5 is average, 6 is above average, 7 is good. And that's where Mass Effect Andromeda kind of lies. It's a good game. I'm not going to say it's great, I'm enjoying myself, but it frustrates me just as much. I'm roughly about 10 hours in or so, and it's getting there. It's slowly hooking me, but not quite quickly enough, I don't feel. I'm playing it for review purposes at the minute. I got sent a copy by EA. A bit later than most publications because Culture Vultures isn't a huge publication, so we kind of get put on the second ladder, so it were. But yeah, everything I've played so far, it's been good. Apart from the main character, who I kind of hate. What I really enjoy is going around, talking to people, getting random exposition on stuff, finding out more about the worlds we are now trying to live in and cohabit. And it's, in that sense, it's a lot like the New Frontier, but in space. And it's quite interesting. Your crew members are quite fascinating, especially Drac, who I just have a really weird friendship with odd uncles and angry old men. So I kind of gel with him the most. There are a couple that I feel like miss the spot, like PB, she is terrible. She's like Tracer but blue and even more annoying. And then there are people like Vetra and Cora who are pretty good. I'm getting around to using them quite a bit on missions and that's totally fine. It's not, no one's quite as memorable as Garrus, who is my angel and always will be. Combat is passable, I'm having a fairly good time with it. It seems like you have to do quite a lot of work before you get yourself souped up. And it's quite kind of rudimentary to begin with. The cover system isn't particularly great at all. It's kind of a lot of hit and miss. And you really have to sort of just stay in one spot until you get better and just keep peeking and peeking and peeking and unloading and loading and loading, Division style. It's not so bad though. It's a bit glitchy, the combat, so he'll come off the wall sometimes. He'll always miss his melee attacks, which is really infuriating because it'll leave you open. But when it does come off, it is quite satisfying. So, what stops it from being a great game? Well, I feel like it's kind of a little outdated. It's a little antiquated in its systems and mechanics. I feel like it's been done better elsewhere. To me, Mass Effect Andromeda is kind of like what the Technomancer wanted to be. It's good. It's not great. Technically, playing on PS4, it's fine. Nothing brilliant. It looks okay. The graphics are about on par for an open world game. I didn't really feel the need to go and stare at any horizons like I have in stuff like The Witcher 3. But, you know, it's functional. The animations are bad. I'm not going to lie. They're not great. But they don't, like I said, take me out of it to the extent where I have to write an 800-word piece on it. 800-word think piece on it, rather. I don't have to focus on a bunch of GIFs. I feel like people wanted this to fail, and in a sense it kind of has, because it wanted to appeal to the older fans with the mining and the planet exploration and stuff like that, but doesn't really do it in a more meaningful, interesting way. It's very much just a case of holding a button, collect the stuff, wait for a long transition scene, and then keep going about that for a while. And while it's fun to begin with, it does kind of grind, and when you do land on planets, there's not much there. They're usually quite desolate. So when you go to somewhere like Jarl's home planet, that's really beautiful. So they have blurts of beauty in between all the grey and the dark and the kind of boring, really. Aside from the main quest line, there are a lot of filler quests that pop up whenever you go to like the Nexus or anywhere around about that area, and you'll always have to go and do something, find something, standard RPG stuff. But I find it quite interesting to just do that instead of going on the main quest line, which I don't find to be that involving so far, purely because the main character, the male rider I'm playing as, is a bit of a dickhead. Really, it's a shame you can't pick the personality type of your rider, because this guy is just always irreverent and never really suiting this conversation, which is kind of annoying. It's kind of a lot like Fallout 4 in that regard, and they didn't learn from Fallout 4 because it's been in development for quite a while, and I feel like they took a lot of cues from that. So when you select an option to talk to someone, the tone with which Ryder usually delivers it, the answer, isn't quite there, or doesn't really reflect your choice. So I'm only 10 hours in, as I said, and I'm enjoying it, but it comes with a lot of caveats. I'm not really fully hooked in yet, and it should have me by now. It's about 10 hours in. The review will follow soon, and I've still got loads and loads more to do. I keep going off in tangents and doing side quests and stuff, but there may come a time when it does totally grab me. But until then, I'm just going to say it's a good game. It's good, it's enjoyable for what it is. It's good filler as well, I feel. I don't feel like it's going to change anyone's life, but between now and the next big game coming out, it's going to tide some people over. I can see a lot why some Mass Effect fans are kind of disappointed with it, and I am disappointed as well, but then I don't let myself get too hyped up with these things. My recommendation is, if you like it, find out for yourself, you know. That's what I always say with reviews. They give you a general idea of what the game is like in the eyes of that person, and then it's up to you to decide whether you cherish that person's opinion and either buy or don't buy the game, or just find out for yourself. It's a good RPG, not as good as the other Mass Effects, but it does its job, just about. What do you think of Andromeda? Are you enjoying playing it, totally avoiding it, or something else? I don't know, stroking your cat instead. Let me know, and thanks for watching. Bye!